Got a serious question for you. You love animals, do you? You got any pets? Dogs, cats, birds? You love them, do you? Well, how come you eat them? And how come usually the ones that you eat are vegan, meaning that they only eat plants? So basically they don't harm any other beings, but you decide to harm them? Or at least if you're not harming them directly, you're harming them through your money and support of that industry? Well, I've been vegan for over 10 years, and there are other factors to my health that help me a lot, like eating non-GMO and eating organically, which is fantastic. But think about it. I've been vegan for over 10 years. So is my partner. So are all the kids in our care. Now my question for you is, are you happy having to eat those animals? Even dairy and eggs, are you happy having to rely on eating things that came from another living being and possibly were taken without that being's permission? Now, plants may have some reaction to stimuli and they've shown signs of life, that's true. But plants aren't kicking and screaming when you're dragging them off to be killed. Now, I personally am very forgiving and I will sit with people who are eating that way. But I must have it be known that you don't need to eat animals or anything from animals. Being vegan means no animal products, no dead animals whatsoever on your plate. And in the coming years and months especially, I'm going to be revealing some tips and tricks as to how you can thrive by not relying on animals and animal suffering and animal enslavement. And it's fantastic. It's nothing to be upset about. And like I've said in my music videos, you really do enter the pearly gates to heaven or to paradise once you forgive yourself. And that is one way that you can stop doing the wrong thing, is simply by forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself for not knowing better. It's not that hard. Now, I'm not really sure what else to say in this, other than think about the fact that someone has been vegan for over 10 years and they're thriving. I am feeling amazing. I haven't been sick the entire time I've been vegan, not once. Doesn't that make you think? I don't go and see doctors. I probably never will have to. I don't have to go and see dentists. I stopped brushing my teeth like a year ago. Oh, actually, it's probably been more than a year. It's probably been like at least 2 years now. My teeth, better than ever. Because I've become aware through my becoming a vegan of the various different nutrients and elements that our bodies need and are comprised of. And I know how to replace those things. Now, doctors, I'm not getting up all of them, but they only get paid very well, I must say. But they only get paid when you're sick. Dentists, they only get paid when you have bad teeth. Does that inspire you to think that possibly they don't have your best intentions at heart? Not all of them. There are good people out there. But generally, I've looked at a lot of doctors and they aren't as healthy as I am. And that's shocking to me because they're doctors. And to quickly change the subject now onto the flat earth, just quickly, it's shocking to me that we have people who can actually believe that we live on a ball. Because when you take just a few minutes to think about it, right? How come, I gotta hold this with two hands. How come the stars don't change? We always have the same stars. Yes, they move. They move in the sky, but do you feel the earth moving? No, you've never felt the earth move unless there's an earthquake. And even then, it's for a short period of time. So what's up with that? And when it comes to the stars, especially in Australia, but all over the realm, you can look up when it's dark and see that the stars might move, but they don't change. They're always the same. And yes, they've got bullshit excuses for this, and they claim that they change very slowly over a very long period of time. But are you aware of how many hundreds of thousands of miles per hour or kilometers per hour, it's a lot, that they claim that we are moving through space? They claim that the Earth is spinning and that we're spinning around the sun and that the sun is spinning around the universe, right? Are you aware of how many rotations are taking place here? The divinity of this place is amazing. Seriously amazing. The sun and the moon are like in perfect balance, like yin and yang. And how can you have just a random rock and a random ball of heat that are supposed to be different sizes appearing to be the exact same size in our sky? Look, I just highly recommend getting into the flat earth and doing some research. Follow Mark Sargent with Strange World on YouTube. And there's a lot of other content creators that are creating and talking about, especially on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok yet. But it's very interesting, that, people believe, many billions of them, most of the world believes that they live somewhere where they don't live. Once you start researching this, it'll blow your mind. And the reason that they've lied to us all and indoctrinated us all is because they do not want us to understand our power as the creator of this reality. We are creating our own realities every single day, every moment of every day. Once again, think about it like this. If you had any young high school student would be able to tell you this. Any experiment that they conduct with a vacuum needs a chamber or a wall so that they can create the vacuum. They claim that the pressurized environment of the Earth is sitting up against a vacuum and that gravity is what's keeping the gas in and the vacuum out. If you really do think logically about this, right, you'll be like, well, where's the wall? And how come they could get through the wall to go to space? Well, the simple answer is they never went to space. Buzz Aldrin himself said to a little child, when asked something about why didn't we go back to the moon, he said, because we never went in the first place. And that's interesting, isn't it? Now, where is all this leading to? Well, like I said, if you forgive yourself for believing the wrong thing, change is very easy. Very easy. And as for where we are, well, I don't really, let's just not speculate too much on that right now. All you need to question is whether you believe you're in or on a ball spinning around so fast, hundreds of thousands of miles per hour, and yet you can't feel a thing, and the stars always stay the same. Things don't add up. So anyway, it's nice to see you all, and I hope you have a good think about what I've said, and I look forward to creating more content, and music especially. But much love from Newcastle/Canberra, wherever I want to be saying that I'm located right now. I can be located in many places. Australia is a very beautiful country and it's easy to get around. But peace to you and your family. Blessings. Namaste, which means, well, it's a greeting, but it also means my soul recognizes and sees your soul. And we all come from the same source. And we are all one. And that's another reason why they've outlawed things like cannabis and entheogenic substances like magic mushrooms, because when you do those things, rather than alcohol, which kills your brain and your body, and tobacco, which I do consume, but I try to keep it organic and I try to consume as little as possible. These are things that keep the perpetual hamster wheel going. Anyway, namaste, and see you soon. Thanks.